gonna get into this one as soon as we can, man. We're getting in. You know, sometimes you have some false starts. And here we go. We are in and ready to go. You got Forbidden Fruit versus G1, and the fight's already building at top mid, and Forbidden Fruit strike first.
Called it with the mid-door strat there at a bubu, but Artic with a nade cross-map actually took him down. Toni tries to go for OS, but PreDevoNatoR, he's looking at it. He's going to drop him. Shots into Hysteria. 2 for a double. Nice little answer. Even Envore not going to pick up the OS, looking like a hot potato here. Somehow G1, they coordinate around it. Looks like they'll grab it off the rip.
Although G1 goes down early in the fight, right? They don't have the numbers. They're still able to use that overshield as bait, pull the players of Forbidden Fruit out, and are able to find 2 and they get 3 down for themselves. Bubu Dubu gets the overshield, and suddenly they're running a flag right away. Forbidden Fruit might have struck first, but G1's trying to make a statement in the opening minute.
Damn, what an early little blender at a G1. The coordination in the back of the base with the OS, and then the cutoff on the overextenders, right? Completely winning their fights. That's a clear opening, and a flag already dropped a minute into the game for G1 here.
G1 wanting to keep that momentum forward, but Forbidden Fruit find the slay. It's gonna back them away, and what you saw right there, Artic passing up a grapple. What I want to make sure we see Forbidden Fruit do is really prioritize getting on top of that utility. You're not gonna be able to win this 4v4 BRs only. You're gonna have to use that utility, and you can see Bubu Dubu clearly moves his reticle, checks for the grapple, and is making sure to prioritize the utility on the map.
Definitely feel like grapple side of the map is what you should prioritize most of the time. You got a lot of coverage to work with, sight lines. Bubu, of course, picking up grapples going to give him some traversability. As I say it, Hysteria trying to run that flag across. Bubu going to catch one, I believe, right below him. They might have just crossed each other up. It's Toni down below. OS about to pop here. A couple kills coming off of the feet as Hysteria does drop, make it 3 dead as they intercept that flag with perfect timing too. Should be a return and an opportunity for the OS.
Envore's doing his best to try to stay alive, but
my God,
it's not gonna be for long as he dies. The flag will come back. Oh no, it's Squallaye, and he's trying to get the fight done over there, but Hysteria staying alive, and they're just keeping this flag on its pedestal.
No idea how they're pulling it off with Forbidden Fruit. They're not going down without a fight. As I say it, 2 will stand on the flag to double re, and that will guarantee a 2nd point on the board here for G1. They just got a confident lead to start this one. They're going to have to, at least on the side of Forbidden Fruit, we're going to have to see some pivs here, Garrett, as Squallaye takes another.
And individual talent isn't what's missing from this Forbidden Fruit roster. I mean, you saw how Artic was taking that fight at top mid. His strafe is unlike many players. It's so nasty. How do you keep up with that? The problem is this Forbidden Fruit roster, this is maybe their 2nd week playing with each other. It's the team of leftovers. Toni, the former player on that G1 roster, got breakout player of the game. Envore, who was on Fnatic, just absolutely dominated Anaheim. Artic, who was formerly on G2 and Exit, finds himself on the wayward out, and Hysteria, who had just left that complexity roster. These are all the best fourths in the scene who decided to come make a team with each other, but they just haven't had the reps with each other enough.
Very savage, but honestly somewhat accurate way of looking at it is the leftovers. Ooh, you know what, though? They can definitely put it together if they can just find their footing here early on. Of course, this is slipping out of control very quickly. G1 not giving Forbidden Fruit any time to breathe. Toni, we're going to need to see him try to stay up, make a play here. Envore is running the flag through, so maybe an opportunity here for Forbidden Fruit. You know the overextension's coming in. Bubu Dubu with coverage on the flag. PreDevoNatoR there too. Squallaye all firing together. Toni in trouble here. He needs some help.
What an interesting play from the side of G1. Bubu Dubu was there early. He could have gotten a flag pull out and tried just to buy time for his teammates to get there. Instead, he buys time with his life, decides, no, I'm not going to pull this flag. It's going to end up to me dying. Instead, he repositions, stays alive, buys his team a little bit more time. They eventually get the numbers back, take down Forbidden Fruit, and suddenly a counter cap on its way as Swish finds himself halfway through the map, but no teammates to be found. Luckily for him, though, Forbidden Fruit all the way across the map.
Just a rough spot for Forbidden Fruit. That's twice in a row that they've almost capped a flag and just been stopped, you know, in their progress. Swish in the meantime on top of lighting things up. He's got a skewer he's on top of, can't quite draw it in time. Toni here for the return. Good save out of him. Honestly, his team just dying around him. He does pick up a kill as well on the Squallaye. That will only slow down what currently feels like the inevitable, though. Forbidden Fruit still struggling to find an opening here, and hopefully this playthrough grapple can help.
Fortunately, Artic does go down, and that might stifle a push of Forbidden Fruit for now, as they wait for another opportunity to present itself. And you can see the thing for G1 is they don't necessarily have to be too aggressive. For them, it's just a game of Slayer, right? Make sure that you're getting your kills, play it a step at a time. For Forbidden Fruit, they're going to have to find some overextension routes, going to have to try to get behind enemy lines and make some plays. And G1, well, they're going to be ready for that at every step of the way.
As we say it though, Envore, he'll slide a cap in, and finally Forbidden Fruit, they find an answer. They find some momentum in this game. Envore, sword back pocket. He'll make his way out to Repulsor here. He's got Toni opposite side of the map, so Forbidden Fruit, a little bit of leeway they might be gaining here as Envore just trying to dip and dodge to stay alive.
And it's that sword that can play such an impact on this game, right? Be ready to see that play some tight corners, being able to find some free kills and open up some opportunities for his team. As, oh my God, he's just flying through. Envore looking for another. The sword's out, and PreDevoNatoR the target. Envore finds one more.
2 dead. OS about to spawn. Envore, sightline across. He's going to try. Oh, he won't make it in time, though. Bubu Dubu's already collected it. Envore, sword in hand. If they get close, he's got an answer. Bubu going to try to just bounce out with his OS. Ends up having it burned in the process here, so not too useful. Can he get away with his life? We've seen Bubu do this a couple times in the back of Catalyst. One of my favorite aspects of this map is what you can do with the grapple.
Oh, Bubu goes flying. Toni has his head turned around, and all of a sudden G1 find opportunity by Bubu staying alive. It turns into 3 down, and the onslaught's coming. G1 looking for the next flag.
Bubu Dubu so tricky. He's got a skewer to work with now too. He can keep making plays. He opens things up for the team to get an answer on the flag here. Squallaye gonna run it. Needs some help to get it across, though. Forbidden Fruit looking to cut him off. They're gonna have to go for the overextension at this rate. The slaying power at a G1 a little too strong. And Bubu Dubu looking to plant the flag and maybe make a play along the way here.
Love that play from Squallaye, right? He pulls out the flag, but he doesn't have to go any further. He knows Bubu had the grapple. Bubu's able to get the timing. He gets it away, and he stays alive, and he's looking to take whoever wants to push into him. And it could be Artic or Hysteria. You can see, man, that skewer's ready to rumble.
Yeah, just don't get in this man's line of sight. Thankfully, he doesn't have it out at the moment. You know, team shot his way through 2, though. Swish there to help. That'll drop half the resources on Forbidden Fruit. You can see they're still getting aggressive here. Artic trying to work with Hysteria. Hysteria not down for the count. Artic about to drop as well. And as they slay their base, once again, rinse and repeat, they'll push out. 1 flag to go here, Forbidden Fruit. We need to see some perfect Halo if they want a shot.
And those are the pushes that can spell disaster for a team. Forbidden Fruit had all 4 players push forward, ready to make a push. G1 trapped in the back of their base, but it's a well-placed team shot from both these teams. Ooh. As Bubu goes sword from behind. That stopped the push from Forbidden Fruit and provide opportunity for G1, as they have had no problems dominating in the slays.
Thankfully, he missed that. Bubu Dubu just making plays out here with the grapple, being tricky. Must have had a very nutritious breakfast this morning, all I can say. Hysteria in the meantime, though, he's finally got a flag. Forbidden Fruit, you'd like to see something going here.
It's just Hysteria who has to get through, but it's been the overshield that's plagued Forbidden Fruit. G1 has been on top of every single one thus far, and it's made a massive difference in this game. I mean, harken back to the very first flag that we saw. It was because of the overshield that Bubu Dubu got, even though Forbidden Fruit had positioning, and it's the overshield that stops his flag short.
Like you said, every OS, I think at this point, collected by G1.
Oh my God.
He's going to use that just to suppress 4 here. Not sure how Swish is alive. He's just putting them down. Toni going to drop. Swish trying to stay up for a second. Of course, outmanned at that point. The flag is out, though, well it happens as he takes the attention of multiple. Squallaye going to look to plant this in. Envore going to get melted as Squallaye makes his way just a couple lengths away from doing it. Hysteria, last line of defense. He will get the pull, but he'll drop. Artic, Toni there to help, but at this point, it's just looking too far out of the running. Maybe I spoke too soon.
What can be born out of desperation? Artic's last alive, and he needs to make a play, but look at PreDevoNatoR using that wall to stay alive. He takes the reach out. Artic eventually comes out on top. The kill is going in favor of Forbidden Fruit, but the time keeps ticking away. Only 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get the job done, and Hysteria's thumbs couldn't keep up. He falls, but he bought enough time for the flag to return. Forbidden Fruit not out yet, but they have to get 3 flag caps in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Unreal. Hysteria putting his life on the line. You like to see it, but like you said, the time is against them. It'd be very difficult to find some footing here unless they start winning some fights. It's a big one for Artic. Unfortunately, he will not stay alive. PreDevoNatoR there to pick up the pieces. OS about to pop. We've seen G1 with every OS of the game, I believe, so far. You'd like to see Forbidden Fruit get some angle on this.
He's still out and away, and PreDevoNatoR just won't get on. He's like, hey, across the map, it's no problem. It's the overshield that's up. Toni gets the overshield, but it goes off the map. Forbidden Fruit just cannot get away with these overshields, and it's going to make this flag run even harder.
We talked about Hysteria coming into this, just the ability to act under pressure that he has. He has clutched up just a little bit just to keep the game going. Managing to pull a counter flag. Of course, you can see the return coming in here as Bubu does get back to it. Flag right next to the pedestal. We need to see some last-second defense from Envore, Artic, and Toni as they do get on top of the flag. They might need a pull. Bubu going to drop down. Convenient drop onto Artic. He cleans it up. Toni does get a touch, but he's tagged for a double. Bubu, he's just getting started today.
Forbidden Fruit, they have to allocate all of their resources just to keeping the flag off of home, and it's just been too much to watch. G1, they're fine. They're like, yeah, we don't need to get this 5th flag cap. You guys can keep running at us and giving us free kills and making our confidence even more. As you just see them, yeah, I mean that's as confident as you can get. Bubu soars across top mid with no shields and is like, yeah, I'm gonna take this fight.
He tossed it out down below though instead of through the hallway there. Might make it a little difficult to get back to it. Of course, at this point with 40 seconds on the clock, not going to be seeing Forbidden Fruit turn this around. If anything, you'd hope to see them get some fights to maybe get some confidence coming into game 2 here. But all I see are blue bodies dropping left and right.
Yeah, and with only 30 seconds left in this game, it's all
oh my God.
over. And I love that, Squallaye. You know, get the final kill. Let it be known, 29-19 to finish his game. Positive 10 as they win 5-1. A dominant performance from G1 early on.
G1 going kind of crazy to start the morning. We did expect them to 3-0 their way through this series. They've been very dominant in that game. The only ray of sunshine, of hope, I think, at the end of the tunnel here for Forbidden Fruit, Garrett, is just the fact that they defended them for so long, right? In the end of the day, yes, I believe they did cap the final flag, but what was that, 3, maybe 4 denials that we saw last second out of Forbidden Fruit to at least make it a difficult process? I wouldn't be surprised to see it, just the way that this map goes. I think one strong opening strat could definitely set that momentum, get the ball rolling, and next thing you know, it does, kind of equate to a stake. But a stake at this level of play, I don't know. I'm leaning to no, I think, Garrett. It looks like the chat is too.
Hey, yeah, hey, I'm with you. I mean, play your odds, guys. Play your odds. Make sure you get your channel points in as we get ready for this game 2. Rocket's going to be so impactful. Power weapons make such an impact on this game.
They definitely do. The Rockets, of course, all tantalizing in the center. They're going to draw the attention, but really it's the shotgun that we've talked about as the star of the show here. It's always in play, just about always. Of course, when you drop it, when it's off the map, you get a 30-second, or was it 1 minute? I believe it was 30-second respawn timer once it's off the map. Either way, we'll see. It's in play constantly. So is that Stalker in the hands of Toni.
Making sure these rockets go into your hand is priority number 1. And look at that, Forbidden Fruit come out strong, but PreDevoNatoR somehow keeps them off the rockets for now. But the question is, did he buy enough time? Toni gets away, and Toni finds another kill. Rockets in the hands of Forbidden Fruit early on, and they need to find as much of a lead as possible. But before we get into that action, we have Magic ready with some updates about what's happening around pool play.
Let's go.
All right, let me give you a quick update on other matchups that are going on. Meanwhile, in Pool C, we have Optic versus Fnatic, and Optic are up 2-0 with back-to-back decisive wins, including a 5-1 on that Capture the Flag Catalyst. But the real story, I think, here comes from Pool D. Space Station Gaming versus G2. Space Station Gaming on Capture the Flag had the 1-0 lead until G2 get a capture in sudden death to force overtime, and G2 come out with that win.
Ooh, Space Station back to their old choking ways. Oh, thank you so much, Magic, for the update. We'll be hearing from Magic all throughout today. She's going to make sure that me and Shyway are informed with everything else that's happening, because we got to focus on our gameplay. We can't be looking at all these pool plays.
I mean, I want to keep up with it all, but like you said, the most important in front of us, 15-8, by the way. If you voted that Forbidden Fruit would get staked in this game, boy, are you regretting that decision. They came out hot off the rip. They're looking to take this thing.
And yeah, they are absolutely coming out guns blazing. And this is exactly what you want to see. And this is a great test for G1 in particular, right? This is an example of you going down early on in the game and how do you respond? How do you punch back? How do you rally the troops? And so far, it could start with these rockets right here. An important play to be made as Artic goes down.
Great shot at Artic right there. Or sorry, to Artic to get the kill. The second one, not quite as good, right? A bit of a YOLO. Probably could have saved that rocket. Instead ends up missing it. No dice. 22 to 12 at this point. Team going to try to work together over on Subway. Squallaye not going to catch Hysteria, just sitting there in the corner. Just pick up a backsmack and a shotgun for his troubles. Hysteria might have just broken things down for the team, of course, in a flank position.
The deficit has just been maintaining around 10, and as long as Forbidden Fruit can go trade for trade, they're going to be fine. That's what I like to see from Envore, right? Don't engage in every possible fight, right? It's important to play your life as long as possible, get back to your teammates, and find the best opportunity to get kills. And that's why they've been able really just to maintain a 10-kill lead for so long.
Just working well off the team. You know, whether you're shooting together, rotating together, or in Hysteria's position, knowing you're alone and keeping your presence low and using your teammates to bait the enemy. That worked out perfectly. Right now, holding on with 26 to 17. Hysteria line of sight across to Arcade. Looking for info. He'll catch Bubu. Nice little shots coming out of the Commando just to keep them peppered. They've got top map control. As long as they continue to get trades, at the very least, from here on out, they're good.
And G1 finally has some numbers to work with, but Envore quickly finds the tie-up. He's going to be able to get one more, and he's ready to take some more fights, as this is just... Yeah, you're on a clock right now, right? If you're G1, you can be down by quite a bit and still come back, but you can't let this continue on for too long. If you are down by 10 by the time that Forbidden Fruit gets to 35, 40 kills, you basically kiss that comeback goodbye.
G1 just needs one little domino to fall, basically, to open things up. And I think that's actually starting to happen, by the way. That's full 4 dead, unanswered right there. Finally, we do see a player drop on G1, but just any little moment where somebody survives that shouldn't survive can create a chain reaction, an opportunity for the enemy team to, or for their team to completely capitalize on it. Squallaye picking up another kill. That rocket launcher still up center map here, going to be so important as you see the score line now getting very close.
And this is a tough break for Forbidden Fruit. They did so much work. They got G1 3 down with rockets up, but Squallaye stayed alive and got the important kill. And now PreDevoNatoR finds 3! Triple kill in the feed. PreDevoNatoR popping off, and now only a 3-kill deficit for G1 to overcome.
And of course, he can't see Toni, but we can see Toni, and rightfully, he's hiding back A, right? He's like, I do not want a piece of that overkill. They get me out of this. The scoreline getting very close, though, because of it. Artic with 2 just to keep the advantage. Only slightly here. Swish looking for an answer back. Good shots to pop into him. Just trying to get out of this fight, though, right? He's in a rough spot. The entirety of Forbidden Fruit, they're working together A side.
Artic has been the shining light for this Forbidden Fruit roster. I mean, every single one-on-one, it feels like he comes out on top. You can see how confident he is. He's taking every challenge. He wants every piece of them. You line him up, and Artic takes them down. Another 3 go down as Swish tries his best to stay alive, but the blue arrows start to collapse, and he'll fall as well. The lead back up to 7 for Forbidden Fruit.
18 and 10 out of Artic. This man is putting it together. They got them in a bit of a blender here, too. Forcing spawns back A. Hysteria with a flank. Gonna keep Devin now. Look, no shields. Squallaye, he's in trouble as well. They're getting melted left and right, making 42 now. As Forbidden Fruit, they find their confidence, regain their momentum, and you can see G1 caught in the middle of it.
Yeah, there's just no opportunity for G1 to get out of this spot. They have the spawn trap fully in effect. If you take it top down, look, you'll see a U on the map for Forbidden Fruit. They have all the locations covered, but it's individual fights from G1. Some big one-on-ones that go their way, and suddenly things are starting to get a little bit mixy. Rockets go over to Swish. Everything moving into the hands of G1 and Forbidden Fruit. That might be the biggest misstep we've seen. In fact, Louis, record that. We're going to have to look at that post-game.
I just need to see it again just so I can internalize what just happened here. The little tug of war going back and forth as it is a 5-kill deficit, but definitely not unwinnable. Squallaye looking to pick up one on Hysteria. Struggling a little bit with the kill. Hysteria being a tough target. Does get the trade into Envore. Honestly, all Envore needed just to hold on to the lead here. Up by 4. Slight mistake from Forbidden Fruit, and this could collapse on them pretty quickly, though.
Bubu needs to stay alive here, but Envore's going to shut him down quickly. Only 2 more kills for Forbidden Fruit as Squallaye works to do his best to stay alive, and it's just not going to be reality to come in. And now only 1 more for Forbidden Fruit to tie it up. And this is what's crazy, right? You get dominated 5-1 game 1, game 2. You play your game and you're tied up back to 1-1. So Forbidden Fruit feeling themselves in game 2.
That's also just how Street Slayer goes sometimes. As terrible as it can be a bit of a grace for your team to get back in the series. And Forbidden Fruit, of course, looking to lock this one out. They're taking their time with this final kill. Of course, a slight mistake at a G1, and that's curtains for the game. Artic gonna go for it. Melee to do the trick. And Bubu as the last kill on the team, make it a 50-44 to close that out for Forbidden Fruit off a strong start. But really, I think it was the mid-game, Garrett, that really, told the story of how they prevailed.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive to say the least for Forbidden Fruit, and really I had my eyes on Artic that entire time. But if Forbidden Fruit want to keep doing this, they have to clean up these mistakes. In fact, let's rewind this one just a little bit and let's take a freeze frame in a second. I want to take a look when it's 4v4 right here. This is what's important. They get this kill on Swish, and you can see if you pause it right here and you take a look at the map, you would have a U on the map. Essentially, you'd have 3 players in the B lane, and you have Hysteria with the shotgun, right? You have control of the backside. You know that G1's going to be spawning at bottom C. And how do you take this fight? Well, you have to win the important ones. You cannot lose that fight. Hysteria needed to have that shotgun out ready to go, because that blew open the map, let G1 push out, get control of the rockets, and had an opportunity.
All I've seen is success out of a team like G1. Toni and the remainder of his team is going to have to pop off on this opening strat to create a setup.
Okay, I'm going to Forbidden Fruit early on is a great thing to see, and he's got some great information. Squallaye, though, Squallay's ready for it. Squallaye just out-PRs Toni. It doesn't matter, you got combo. Damn, Squallay's coming for your life.
That man had no cover whatsoever, by the way. He was just standing out in the open next to the doorway and completely outshoots the camo player on top of grapple. And maybe, to be honest, he might have been looking at the grapple knowing that that was a point of contention, and seeing it picked up, maybe gave him some confidence in the fight. Either way, you can see the damage that it's done. 15 seconds and counting. G1 looking for an early setup.
They might have to rename that corner, man. It might need to become Squallaye corner instead of Trippy corner. The way that he just stayed in there and just baited players in. I mean, he got 2 kills just sitting in that corner and waiting for his opportunities. And now Forbidden Fruit find the response finally. Yeah, he loves that corner. I'm telling you, man. Let's change the name. But Forbidden Fruit find a great break, right? They're gonna get Sword on top of ball. They're gonna have a clear rotation. G1 spawning all the way away, and it's Bubu Dubu who leads the charge with the first pick.
Nice little turnaround here from Forbidden Fruit. Bubu Dubu, like you said, looking for a pick, an opening. Swish there to work with him. They can collapse together. Swish already with an opening kill. Hysteria might be looking to play that ball out as they do get, ready for a fight. You can see a sword swinging back there. Don't get too close. Artic, Hysteria, they'll die as the SWAT team comes in to neutralize them. Toni and Envore, at the very least, do get their trades here. So it will be an even exchange on both sides. That ball's still going to sit down, but the sword is important to worry about Envore. You can see he's got a repulse just to keep him back.
I know, Envore. He saw that repulse on the ground. He's like, okay, I can push in, grab that repulse, and have an opportunity to take down the sword player. Unfortunately, it just doesn't come to fruition as another player comes in to shore up the defenses. But the way that G1 broke that setup was so impressive. But the way that Toni comes back in, camo in hand, he's looking for a redemption, but it's Swish who shuts him down this time. And he's going to sort of himself. Envore repulses him away. What is going on? He comes back. He comes back. Swish gets another sword kill.
The battle of equipment in that situation. Whoever has more prospers, right? Also, I think, oh my God, hold on a second. Artic. Okay, he will get shut down. Artic looking for a play of his own as we're not done yet in bagpipes. DevoNatoR, he's under fire. He'll drop that ball in the hands of Forbidden Fruit as they do look to close the gap. What a battle in this tiny little corridor.
Oh, this is a close one. I did not expect this to be as back and forth as it is early in this game. I mean, both teams have had their opportunities. Both teams are going back and forth at it. And oh my God, Toni puts it down. He says, I'm going to take you down this shock rifle anyway. He had no fear. But eventually Swish comes with the back attack and is able to get those kills. And look at that, bubu dubu's already giving him a rotate lane, and this is going to be a great hold for G1.
The best thing they could have done in this situation is that corner of the map, you know, as great as it can be for a setup, if you don't have the setup created, it's just a bloodbath. Getting the ball over to C here, if things get troublesome, they play it off the map, they're in a good spot. Let's see what they do to cover it. In the meantime, of course, Squallaye by the doorway here. Artic gonna have to tiptoe his way to this fight. Gotta be very careful. Toni already drops. Losing numbers, gonna make it tough for Forbidden Fruit, and all of this is just comfort zone for G1 to work with.
Dude, every time I see Artic strafe, he just does it a little bit different. He has like that Spartan strafe, right? It's just like there's a few players who know how to manipulate the strafing system in Halo Infinite, and they are just so damn hard to kill because of it. And you can see, I mean, this is what having it set up really means. Forbidden Fruit, they're not getting necessarily taken down in the kill feed. Finally, we start to see them fall, but G1 have just made a stronghold at the back, and they were able to milk so much time away. It was 33 to 35 when they picked up that ball. Now 35 to 80.
Yep, close to 50 seconds off a single hold. Toni, a third camo, by the way. He keeps trying, and I respect him for it. He had one nice play. Unfortunately, he does get obliterated by a grenade there. Swish going to continue to hold on to ball here. Hysteria getting caught out in the middle of the map. Envore does get a kill on the bubu, but it's not enough if they don't have numbers. They'll hold this on for the last couple seconds, and that first round going to go to G1 off that dominant seaside hold.
Facing elimination.
And the thing is, I mean, Forbidden Fruit, when you look at it from the top down, it's not like they did too much wrong, right? They got all the camouflages, they had sword, they were doing repulse plays. It was there. The problem was is they never really got a finite hold. They weren't able to have a clear position on the map where this is our hold, we're gonna get 30, 40, 50 seconds out of it. Instead, G1 kept it mixy the entire time, and now G1 looking to do some bit work of their own. A Squallaye uses that grapple, gets ball away, says, hey, I got camo, you take this one away, and they already have a setup.
What a beautiful opening strat at a G1. They take it slow, they play for angles, they light up 3 players of Forbidden Fruit, get easy access to camo. You can see Squallaye still working with it. And because he gets the kill on the Toni, he picked up grapple off his body. I mean, what a rotation we've seen, and with the ball as well now that currently sits on C. Worst case scenario, they can play it if they're in trouble here, but they're still getting kills. Swish will get the trade. Devin holding ball, bubu there to cover. Flank position for Squallaye.
Already Hysteria trying to find his way back into this base, but just cannot get it to fall. And look at that, G1, although they feel the onslaught, they don't panic. They're able to get the kills, and they're going to be able to get some great time. Oh, Toni just comes in time. He's going to go swimming with the... Oh, my God! He's coming back! Bubu's in trouble! Stir Toni! Toni!
I don't know how he got the kill, though, because there was 2 players beside him. Did they both turn around and exit the fight? They thought for sure the man was dead.
They
came back
said
to life
no
and killed bubu.
shot. They said no shot. He comes back. Toni, what are you doing? Able to find some value and hopefully turn this game around as Artic gets the shock rifle.
The man just had no business making plays, and now he's opened things up for Artic. Already got a double. Looking for heads here. Swish opposite map. Do you dare to challenge this reticle? Oh, doesn't quite find it, though. That's the beautiful thing with G1 right there, working off of team cross and damage. Little trade comes in, back pipes. Bubu picking up camo, so despite the plays here, looks like they are stabilizing.
Camo back into the hands of G1, and it's been a complete difference in round 1. I think it was Eli the Ninja who said, yeah, we lost all the camos that last game. We're not doing that again. Bubu Dubu's been on top of it. And this is the man you always want to see having camouflage in his hands. He made a statement when he first came into the league in 2016. He's in Texas. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be happening, but he stays alive. But I mean, Bubu Dubu, remember, 2016, he came into the league, made a massive play on the world stage with camouflage. And since then, he has been, I think, in everyone's mind, the best camo player in Halo's history.
In Halo 5, without a doubt, he was the camo guy. We're still learning that story, I think, in Infinite. And, you know, of course, Bubu, he created that career for himself early on. But definitely expect big things, regardless of what the man's holding. Speaking of what's being held currently here, Garrett 76 and counting as G1 look to lock down round 2 with a perfect score. By the way, Forbidden Fruit, they've given us a couple stylish plays, specifically out of Toni, but it's not enough to actually get points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, what, they have 15 seconds to find their way through, and the crosses are just covered in bubu dubu. Oh, that's a nasty one to get taken care of, and you see all the kills coming in. Artic, the last desperation push. I mean, there's just no opportunity. Yeah, I think he just knows. There's no way he can push through. Bubu dubu soaking up the last little bit of time, as it's going to be a perfect round to finish out our R-ball.
And it's crazy because even in the end of that, as Forbidden Fruit were pushing up, they got 2 dead, and it was a 4 versus 2 temporarily, but maybe they're just moving too quickly. Maybe they're not, you know, as careful as they need to be to clean up the last 2 players, because they let Bubu go huge, and Bubu by himself single-handedly killed 2 players.
As we want you to stay here as much as possible, but if you gotta go over to the mainstream, to the, you know, maybe get a multi-twitch up, whatever it is, but
Twitch it, please.
yeah, make sure you're keeping up with everywhere.
Sorry, Gary, but are you even a Halo fan if you're not multi-twitching? Let me just go ahead and say it. Like, I'll challenge you. I've got multiple tabs open just in case. You know, you gotta keep tabs on everything. And let's keep tabs on this game. Finally, we're in this match. What might be the last game of our series.
Oh my, that's the Swish that you saw that just does not miss shots, man. When he is on, he just fries everything, and he gets another overshield in the hands of Swish, and now it's all about the fight for the hill.
OS, of course, is going to be so useful. Nice little flank there, too. Picks up Artic on the way. Squallaye already in the hill, so Swish, he can just push forward and rain death. He's going to play it patient for now. You can see 3 members of Forbidden Fruit. They're taking their time. They are already set up around tower, but you'd like to see them get aggressive, apply some pressure. Just look for a little mistake at a G1, a little opening. And Swish might be the first target.
Dude, I love how Swish has just been pushed forward this entire time. He's not giving any room for Forbidden Fruit to push up and even get a BR sightline into hill. Instead, if they want to get their BRs straight on that hill, they have to get through Swish, and he is just ready for whatever fight they try to bring. And look at the Forbidden Fruit. They decided we're not doing it no more. They're going to rotate
right
all the way out.
That really is the setup in the end of the day. They kill Squallaye, though. If they can just get a little opening, that pick, they can start to move with their numbers. You can see bubu dubu kind of out of position here, too. Swish dead. Bubu does get a kill, but that actually broke the hill, and that was enough for Forbidden Fruit. So you have to play it so carefully and just earn 1 pick and then move with your numbers advantage. Unless, of course, bubu lights things up with this snipe. We'll see.
Yeah, they broke the hill, but they didn't necessarily find spacing on the map, right? Yeah. So it's just so easy for G1 to find the back door, break it open once again. And in fact, G1 already set up for the overshield once again. And I think Forbidden Fruit probably just going to try to give up this hill because they know how important this overshield can be. But it's Swish once again who finds himself in the front lines. He's trying to get to their overshield. That is not going to happen. But from the back, Squallaye tries to get another. They're going to give that overshield up. Forbidden Fruit have everything they need to try to take hill 2.
And then you see that rotation at a Squallaye, though. Spotting that the OS was picked up. What does he do? He stands on sandbags and curb slides 2 pillars immediately, getting that space on the map, already putting himself in a flank. As I say it, though, bloodbath on screen here as multiple drop. Hysteria going to pick up the spoils. He's got a heat wave snipe to work with here. Maybe positioning on Nest will be the play. Let's see if this man can put it together. A veteran in the scene.
Are you sure that's Hysteria? I mean, that kind of looks like Tom Taylor to me. I mean, picking up both of them weapons. I mean, what's going on over there? Yeah, you gotta share. You ain't no Tom Taylor. You gotta share them weapons around. As he's gonna go down. It looks like G1 gonna be able to find all those kills. Hill back in their possession, and PreDevoNatoR, he has 1 shot. I like that. He's like, yeah, new snipe's coming up. I'm gonna put this thing on the respawn, and I'm gonna hit my shot right away. PreDevoNatoR gets the sniper out and away.
He gets the snipe, tags a body, slides into the old snipe, by the way. Picked up 2 extra bullets to work with. 9 shots in this gun. Envore does get an opening kill. Devin looking for 9 kills. Who's the first victim? Toni already dead. Envore, he spots him. He's got the insight. No need to peek for it.
It's so important. Oh my God, Oddball got up really fast. I was gonna say it's really important for that tower player to be checking the mud push, right? Oddball is a really important player right here. He gets on the flank. He's finding some massive damage for his team. It's very important to make sure that your flank is always covered. And Oddball was able to find his way through, and that eventually leads to a break for Forbidden Fruit.
It's just that understanding of, you know, where your teammates are, what they're looking at, so you know what to address in your position as well. Swish right now. Now it's his turn. King of the castle, top of the tower. Does clean up Artic. Still got a snipe to work with. OS about to pop. Envore, you can see he's got sights on it. Forbidden Fruit, they're all spawning next to it, so they do have numbers, but this is what Swish is looking for.
Oh my God, they're all coming
body. Gonna keep him back. Bubu getting aggressive. Like you said, the team's coming in to collapse. Squallaye with presence on top of it. He does get it, and not just the hill, by the way. They got an OS, and they've got setup potential for the next one.
Right, I talked about how G1 is just objective efficient. Well, there's no way to be more efficient than what Swish did right there. He has sniper and has the angle to overshield while getting hill time for his team. That's about everything you could possibly do. They get overshield, and because they got that overshield, they also flip out the spawns, able to get themselves into the hill right away. And Squallaye still has plenty of this overshield to work with, and Hysteria finds himself in trouble.
Oh, looking like blender time here for Forbidden Fruit if they don't stabilize things early. Squallaye with a little extra shields to work with. He'll get to the back of A, spots Envore, does tag him up. Hysteria gonna look to challenge through the doorway. He's in trouble though. Multi-dilemma to worry about as they do step in the hill. It's looking scrappy, no guaranteed setup just yet, but one thing's for sure, G1, they come to play in the individuals.
Yeah, it was organized chaos from G1 right there. They didn't really have a setup by any means. They were really just spread out across the map, but they all had each other's help. And PreDevoNator's letting him know as he gets a double kill of his own. And Hill transfers hands once again, and PreDevoNator keeps the feed alive as Artic is last.
Devin with a little mental pressure. At this point in the game, no doubt Forbidden Fruit are feeling it. Can they bounce back? Can they find something? Garrett, if they don't get this hill, it might be a 4-0 on the hills. I hate to say it, but it's hard to bounce back from a 3-0 deficit in this game type. We'll see if they can get any momentum going. Of course, a couple will die. PreDevoNator will drop. They'll get footing in the hill, but as they do it, look at that. The OS 15 seconds out the snipe as well. They're going to need to prioritize this.
This is the thing about King of the Hill, right? The new game type. It doesn't matter how close you are to capturing this hill. If you let it slip away, you don't get any value from it. They need to get themselves in this hill and ready to take the fight. But with Artic fighting too, it looks like this hill 3 is going to go into the hands of Forbidden Fruit. And, you know, we're talking about 5 seconds of hill time from being a 3-0 in favor of G1. Instead, it's Artic who's popping off, and he's searching for another as Swish desperately tries to cling to his life. But Artic will eventually get the kill, and they're set up in the next hill. We could be seeing a tied game in a matter of 1 minute.
Hold on a second, Forbidden Fruit coming back. Envore, the drop down snipe back smack. Man, the man styling out here. As he does pick up a kill, he's already looking for spawners here too. So Forbidden Fruit completely flipping this around in just a matter of seconds. Squallaye does spawn back A. Envore with a chance to break through this setup once again. Doesn't quite tag the body. He is alone for this. Can't quite get the kill either. Yeah, that's a massive kill to Squallaye. And G1, they might still be able to stabilize this yet.
Squallaye, more like Squall out BRs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy is just a
gonna
demon.
rebrand now.
Yeah, I feel like every time we see him, like with someone getting a first shot in his back, he just turns around and says, I'm gonna for you. Like, I don't care. It's his BR's been so strong, and now all of a sudden we see you know, the shoe on the other foot as Forbidden Fruit. They're 5-6 seconds away from capturing this hill, but G1 found the break. And look at this setup. They have all of the perimeters covered. A sniper in hands. It's going to be tougher for Forbidden Fruit to find an opportunity to break.
G1 exactly where they need to be. Devin with the heat wave, coverage on tower. Hysteria first victim, but Hysteria with a game plan. That repulse will come out. That'll break down the right-hand side of their setup. And you can see Forbidden Fruit coming in, but this just leads him to the reticle. A bubu dubu doesn't quite hit a shot. He's gonna have to bounce out. 2 dead. And it looks like despite the setup they had, Forbidden Fruit, they bounce into the hill. Last second, they actually tie the game.
Forbidden Fruit, I mean, talk about taking your opportunities, right? I mean, you were so close to being down 3-0 in this hill. Instead, you get it back to even, and you're finding yourself an opportunity. It's about stealing away this game now. If you can get yourself to the Slayer, upset potential is there. But it's Bubu Dubu's trying to shut it down. Overshield still on the ground, and Tony's trying his best to get there, but the nades and Squallaye take him out. Now Overshield in the hands of G1.
Totally different story at this point in the game. What was looking dominant all of a sudden tied up. Artic, by the way, 17, 10, and 12. He has been a huge difference maker, I think, in this scoreline. And so is Squallaye winning his fights. We'll see what he can do to just lock it down this center hill. Not quite going to find Envore Devin there to do it. That tower coverage we talked about, you know, multiple times on this map, going to be so important for this hill. I think it's already locked down by G1.
I mean, look at the value that G1. Oh my god, dude. Once again, we talk about the strafe of Artic. It's built different. He's able to get that kill, but G1 able to get a good bit of time on this middle hill. And Bubu Dubu with his, he only has the heat wave left, and he's looking for another pick. But right now, G1, I mean, they've been making this middle hill look easy. This is the hardest hill to capture on this map.
believe the worry here is after this hill, it goes back to the first hill in the game. And if you're not set up for that, then you might be in trouble, because we looked at, you know, how strong setup potential you've got on that B side hill. So you might see Forbidden Fruit start to set up around B if they do feel like top mid is not an option. Especially when you got Devin with a snipe looking to defend it. Bubu in the hill with a heat wave. He hit it.
Oh, it's so smart from PreDevoNatoR. I mean, that was just a great setup from G1. If you were to look at the map from top down, you'd see a straight line through the map. G1 had control of top tower, top mid, and back A. What that does is that forces the spawns towards green, and that's the route that's the hardest to take in order to get towards that hill. They have to fight through all of those BRs, and it's just not enough. Forbidden Fruit are gonna drop down that hill, and now it's only one more for G1 to grab to win this game. Oh, overshield just short.
Wait. Oh my.
What?
Artic there to save the day. I don't know. What was it? Hysteria caught in a reload. Bubu unfortunately missing shots. Like just a bit of a fumble there on both sides. And Artic there to pick up the pieces, but not enough to do much. You can see the hill is held down by Forbidden Fruit as they do look to set things up here early on.
But what Artic does there, it doesn't look like much, but what it does in practice is huge, right? He gets up into their face with that overshield, takes on 3 players, and just buys his teammates time. And unfortunately, his teammates aren't able to back up his pressure by getting the kills and getting control of that hill as G1 still finds the break. But that was a huge presence play by Artic, and it's kept G1 off this hill for now by the amount of pressure that he put forward. But finally, G1 have their setup, and it's Hysteria who's going to be the first one who needs to find this break. But PreDevoNatoR quickly finds him and calls him out.
Little worrisome here for Forbidden Fruit. They're down numbers. Setup established by G1 as they start to win their fights here too. Envore needs to find the pick to answer. That's a beautiful nade to do it. That'll clean it up, but they're running out of time. On that hill, Envore still going to get aggressive. Looking for 2, actually. Massive play out of him. Might find an opening. Hysteria did die, though. He needs a team to push up for this.
And G1 has a contingency plan here, right? Even if they do lose control of this hill, they can play the game time if needed. They can play Slayer for a little bit of time. And I mean, Dubu's just been masterful at that back hill. He finds one before he goes down. You can see PreDevoNatoR wanting to get right back into this action as well. It's the one-on-one. And once again, it's the straight from Artic, man. It's so hard to take him down, but PreDevoNatoR eventually finds the final shot. It's getting mixy in this final hill. But for G1, they don't necessarily have to get into this hill and get time. They can just get kills, but they are going to be able to find the slays, and it's about, what, 10 seconds of hill time for them to win.
Right. I'd say the ideal scenario is just, you know, win your fights, get the hill, because 45 seconds, I mean, that's a lot of time to work with at this level of play. You can see how quickly they just changed hands with that hill at 40 seconds to pause the timer. Toni looking for more here, too. He takes Squallaye as they do have a setup. Forbidden Fruit. Despite that hill just a sliver away from capture, there might be a chance here for Forbidden Fruit to close this out and tie it.
Yeah, they have some great positioning, but for G1, they have the perfect push opportunity, right? They got themselves the A spawns. They can push through sandbags. They can brute force their way in, and PreDevoNatoR starts it off. 1 kill for him. Toni will be the last, and they are able to win 4-2 in the hill and take the series 3-1.